Triple H can try and erase the history as much as he wants. His nose can get bigger day by day, lying about how today's era is the best era in the history of professional wrestling. But here at Fog Wrestling, we tell the truth and we will not let the old wrestling, the good wrestling, the great wrestling, the retro wrestling die. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. We have returned with the retro wrestling, yes, the ruthless aggression era of Raw and SmackDown. We're also chucking in some TNA in there when TNA was at its absolute best, and you know what? You guys wanted it. We're going to throw in something on a Wednesday night as well to the schedule. We're going to throw in some Lucha. Now, I wouldn't really count that as retro wrestling, but you know what? I heard quite a few good things about Lucha Underground, and I did remember watching a few episodes, so we're going to be watching that as well. Why not? Throw it in there. Listen, I would rather, even though it's not that old, wrestling for 8 years ago is better than wrestling in 2025, so therefore it's going to get watched.
It is, guys, right? Triple H, he can rewrite it all, but you know what? We've watched it all. We're going to watch it all again, and we're going to talk about it, damn it.
Yeah.
Richmond.
Yeah, so it is Monday, the 3rd of March, 2025, and the schedule will be as follows from this point onwards. Non-stop. Every week, all the weeks. This is what you're getting. You're getting the Raw reviews on a Monday. We're getting the top 5 moments from Raw on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we're not going to be reviewing ECW anymore. We're going to be giving Lucha Underground a chance. There's 4 seasons of that, so it shouldn't even take that long to review. Although I do believe a season is 52 episodes, so yeah, it's quite long, buddy. On Thursday, we have SmackDown. On Friday, we have SmackDown's top 5 moments. On Saturday, we will have TNA Impact. Cross that line, buddy, in the Impact Zone. And then on Sundays, any pay-per-views from either TNA or WWE that happen on that Sunday will be uploaded on Sunday. So that is your retro wrestling schedule going forward. So if you're sick of this current crap that Triple H and Tony Khan forces us to watch, then you can come to Fog Wrestling and you can watch it here. Now, the reason we took a break is because, let's be honest, the network moved to Netflix and they pretty much deleted all the good stuff and it was hard to find it, but where there's a will, there's a way, and we've found a way. So with that said, let's get into Raw. We are in Richmond, Virginia. It is April 14th, 2003. 2003, as Goldust would say. WrestleMania is over, but we're on the road to Backlash.
We've loaned a couple of VHS tapes for Dave Meltzer. That's how we're watching it, and that's how we're getting it on.
Back when wrestling was that good, that Backlash was a great standalone pay-per-view, and you didn't have to call it WrestleMania Backlash to try and get a wee bit of hype around it.
Absolutely not. Great pay-per-view, great theme song. I'm ready.
See, nowadays, before we move on to the actual show, why don't they just call nowadays, see WrestleMania Backlash, why don't we just call it WrestleMania without all the stars, and it's just the mid-carders that don't get time off that remain Backlash? That's effectively what WrestleMania Backlash is now. You ain't getting The Rock, Roman Reigns. You're getting the has-beens, the mid-cards, the nabdies.
And speaking of has-beens, is Kevin Nash in 2003 a has-been? I think he's borderline on it, to be honest. Would you not agree with that? Into his, nearly mid-40s at this stage, is Big Sexy. Coming out, greeting, it's Big Sexy. No JR this week. He got fired. He quit last week. Fired, quit, whatever you want to call it. He's gone. He's out of here. Big Sexy gets to the ring. Basically calls out the Kliq. Calls out Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Says, you know what? A year ago, 9 months, 10 months ago when I got injured, everything was rosy. We were all pals. But now we're not pals. I want it to be the late 90s. I want it to be the mid 90s. But it's not happening anymore. Come on, guys. Why can't we be friends? It comes Triple H and Nash. Looks like they're going to square up to each other, but then they hug. And I'm like, what's going on? Then Nash is like, did you get my text? Triple H is like, oh, did you get my messages? Yeah. And I like this. I like the fact that you've got like a 6-man tag going into Backlash, the return of Kevin Nash. I like the fact they're kind of playing on real life relationships, but at the same time, it feels a bit pathetic, doesn't it?
Yeah, Nash here crying over friendship, crying over, why can't we just be friends? You know, like he wants Michaels and Triple H to stop killing each other, which is, I mean, fair enough. But at the end of the day, they're killing each other over the world title. Nash needs to remember that.
Yeah,
he's living this era. Oh, it's the Kliq, and we're all in it for each other. But at the end of the day, everybody should want to be the world champion. Kevin Nash should want to be the world champion.
It's almost like, but it's borderline breaking kayfabe because, like, well, why didn't someone be like, oh, I've got a pal in the NWO, Nash, so why couldn't we have been pals back in '97, brother? Well, it doesn't really work that way, but Triple H points out that even if Michaels came down, got on his hands and knees and kissed his ass, he wouldn't even accept an apology. It wouldn't even lay a dent on what needs to be done. Then Shawn Michaels comes out, they get a bit face to face. Nash then like splits it up, being like 10 foot taller than both. Enough! And then you've got Michaels, he gives his verdict on it. He says that Triple H is a backstabbing bastard, and then Triple H is like, well, come on, Nash, look, our career skyrocketed when we left Shawn Michaels. And you know what? He's on the right path, isn't he?
He's not really telling lies because, I mean, Nash, when he was Shawn Michaels' sidekick, wasn't he? And the same with Triple H, really. Triple H was just Shawn Michaels' lackey.
But you know what?
As soon as he broke away from Michaels, that's when he got the success.
That doesn't mean, though, that Michaels held them back. That just means that Michaels outshines them. Does it not? That's the way I feel it. I mean, see with Nash, right? I mean, Nash was pretty big and he was champion, right? While still pally with Shawn. If Triple H and Shawn Michaels if Michaels never lost his smile and did his back in, would Triple H have like rose to the top like he did? I'm going to have to disagree and say no. But I think it's just simply because Shawn Michaels is better than Triple H in pretty much every single department. And this isn't Triple H getting buried here, folks. That's just the reality. Shawn Michaels is better than Triple H.
And he's better than Kevin Nash as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. But how's it going to go on tonight? What's going to happen? Are they going to be able to resolve their differences? But the weird thing is, it's already booked. You've got Booker T, Shawn Michaels, and Nash against... Well, I was going to say Evolution. It's not really. It's Ric Flair, Triple H, and Jericho. But surely Nash should be more pally with Shawn, considering he's teaming with him.
You would think so, but I mean, Triple H tells Nash to make his choice, make a decision, pick his team. Nash has already been put in Shawn Michaels' team, so looks like Nash has already had it made for him. Triple H says the difference with me is, I'll tell you to your face, Nash. You come, you stand with me, and you stand one step behind me. Nash didn't really like that. Whereas Triple H told him, you go with Shawn Michaels and he'll pretend that he's all equal. He'll pretend that he's all friends, but then he'll stab you in the back. So Triple H making it clear to Nash that here, if you pick me, if you come with me, there's a place for evolution for you, but it's not beside me, it's behind me.
But seeing you actually look at the context, Michaels never betrayed Nash, he never betrayed Triple H. The only guy that did any form of betraying here is Triple H. He bit at Michaels in the balls and pedigreed him, then fucked him through a glass window. So realistically, should the only guy with a beef here not only be Shawn Michaels and Nash, but in defence of Shawn?
Yeah, I'd say so. Plus, when Shawn Michaels lost his smile, and then he broke his back against Austin, Triple H kind of just took over DX, didn't he, and left Shawn
hopeless
to dry,
backless. But you know what, Triple H, man, he's a wanker in 2025, and he's a condescending prick in 2003. And you know what? He's ripped up all the result sheets, so from now on, we're going back to pen and paper, reporting, like the nerds that we are. Ain't that right?
Yeah, it's disgusting. He's literally went on all the wrestling websites and deleted the results.
Aye.
I'm actually flabbergasted I couldn't find anything on this Raw, but there you go.
There you go. So we're living solely off memory because we believe that Triple H wouldn't have, sunk into those lows, but he did. He did, make no mistake about it. We then cut backstage. Stacey Keibler's going through, test his bag. There's a Playboy issue in there with Tori Wilson. She's not happy. Test like, what the fuck you doing, man? But up next is him against Jericho. If it was Triple H's bag, it'd probably be a picture of fucking men.
Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano.
4 foot cut of Johnny Gargano, real life size.
Aye, brilliant. It's time to play the game. Anyway, Jericho defeats Test. I think Coachman's doing a pretty good job on commentary, but you can't help but hear Coachman and think of Sunday Night Heat. He may be commentating on like the main eventers, but
not quite Monday Night Raw, is it?
No, I couldn't help but think this. But Stacey's, appealing to the crowd here, showing her ass. Test loses due to this.
Pink little thong that King pointed out.
Look, Johnny, Coachy.
Of course, King would go into that kind of detail. I expect nothing less for Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, King said something along the lines of, if I had Stacey Keibler, I wouldn't be looking at Tori Wilson. BS, King.
Yeah, King's I don't think's happy with one person.
Yeah.
Sure, he had the cat for
Yeah,
years,
it
and
really
it
did.
didn't stop him from fucking looking at all these other women. So
But Test, he grabs the fan over the barricade that she was interacting with, and you know what? See, back in the day, man, you'd have fancied any wrestler battering up the fans.
Aye.
Yeah, in 2025, the fans are fucking losers, but so the wrestlers.
yeah, so Stacey then cost Test the match. She gets this innocent fan beat up. Then she storms out as if Test is overreacting. But at the end of the day, I mean, she was showing her ass to the people in the crowd. But Test has been looking at Tori Wilson's ass. So, I mean, where do you draw the line? And Test has been made an ass out of because Jericho beats him. And I'm assuming that's the whole Jericho Test feud maybe put to an end. I mean, this was a good little mini feud that happened around Mania season, but didn't result in a Mania match, which of course I don't think it should. But you know, we're led to believe that there was no. I hate see wrestling now. People pretend that wrestlers are only now ever involved in like double storylines or whatnot. It never happened back in the day. Well, this is a clear example that it did. Because Jericho was feuding with Test and Shawn Michaels at the same time.
Yeah.
And that all interlinked to each other.
Yeah,
That's actually good.
And now he's actually like, you know, he's feuding with like Nash and Booker T as well, while still this Test thing's kind of going on in the background. But in the background, we've got Goldberg. And who interrupts him? It's his relative, apparently. It's Gold.
Yeah, so we got some officials saying, there's a family member here to meet you. Goldberg's like kind of intrigued because he doesn't know if he's got any family here on Raw, but he does. Goldust meets Goldberg.
It was brilliant. You know, I mean, I've seen this picture of Goldberg before wearing the wig, but I never knew where it came from. And you know what? It absolutely delivered. It delivered every day of the week. I didn't think Goldberg actually had it in him to make this work. But he made it work for sure when he put the wig on. He's like, you know what, Goldie, it looks better on you than me. But if you ever do that again, I'll snap your ass in two. Then Goldust turns around and says, oh crap, I soiled my pants.
Yeah, Goldust, what a freak. But what a guy. Great wee segment.
Yeah. Did he shit himself or who knows what Goldust did? It could have been anything. Up next we had possibly the greatest guest commentary I've ever heard, right? It was Trish and Ivory taking on Jazz and Victoria. We've got Teddy Long on there with Jonathan Coachman and King. This is like, you know what? We can't do it justice. Fucking listen to it.
White boy.
Hey,
Yeah.
coach, player.
It's not
And
the
it took
same.
the white boy to get fired if you get a spot, player.
It's not the same referee, but he's the same colour. You know, obviously talking about the referee that, was hard done by Jazz last week with the pinfall that shouldn't have been a free. Coach was trying to say that there is no racism here, but we had Fedor point out that your ass would be on Sunday nights if it wasn't for the white boy JR, old white man, stepping down for the commentary role. We had Fedor Long basically say that Jerry Lawler's hometown, family, Jerry Lawler himself, and everybody that Jerry Lawler knows is a bunch of racists. So, just Fedor Long here. Great, fantastic. Saying that he's going to take Jazz to the top because Jazz needs somebody to help her in this white man's world. And then we see Jazz get a victory. So, this was brilliant. Jazz with the STFF.
Hey, Jerry, weren't you from a town called Whiteville? My parents were a player. You can't say player.
Yeah, so, and he didn't want the word player or brother or anything like that being spoken about. But yeah, great match here. Purely because of the commentary, and this is proof that commentary can make a wrestling show because, I mean, you literally could have had nothing happen in the ring for 5 minutes and this would have just been great regardless because of Fedor Long and the commentary. So, brilliant job here, and one reason why wrestling in 2025 and for a long time has sucked because the commentary is awful. But this commentary was great.
No, it was great. What was not so great though, I thought Bischoff selling the Austin merch. I mean, not that it was bad, but it was...
Yeah, so
It was a bit boring.
Bischoff sells some Austin merch, and I guess he's making fun of the fact that Austin's not there, Austin's gone. He's going to throw in some barbecue sauce in memory of JR, and there's a wee hat that can hold it. There's a wee, like, hat top holder, lid thing cap. And, I mean, it's Bischoff, playing to the crowd, mocking Austin. But yeah, I mean, it was Bischoff selling some t-shirts at the end of the day. I didn't really care. We actually want the real thing. We want Austin.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, we want the real McCoy. But up next, we've got a tag team championship match. RVD and Kane defeating Lance Storm and Chief Morley. No DQ match. Great tag team match. You know what? I mean, maybe you could argue these four and the Dudleys have had a lot of interaction over like since the start of the new year, but I've enjoyed it. They win, the Dudleys lose the head, and then you've just got people getting hit with spots. Good heel heat for Morley and Storm, and just some good shit. The Dudleys, though, I think by 2003, not that they're getting stale, but I think they've like kind of ran out of ideas with the Dudleys.
Yeah, I actually prefer. I don't think they're. I don't think they were needed to reunite. They split them up for a reason. I think they could have kept them split a bit longer. I liked what Reverend Devon was doing on SmackDown, and I was liking Bubba Ray's little solo run.
See, by this point as well, I think we've almost distanced ourselves for having like regular like TLC or table matches.
Yeah, look,
and I think the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian suffered from that. But Edge and Christian split up a long time ago.
Yeah, but the Hardys are split up as well. And all right, maybe right now things aren't going great for Jeff. Although
I think he's gone actually.
I mean, yeah, look, it will turn out a bit better for him in a few years to come. But I mean, Matt Hardy's having a good run right now, so yeah, I'm just wondering, should they have kept the Dudleys split a little bit longer?
Yeah, there was a fan dominator, I think it was on Storm, and it didn't really connect. He missed the chair. Don't know how he missed the chair, but connect with Storm. But here he did it anyway. We then cut to The Rock via satellite. The crowd boo that. Rock basically impersonates Goldberg. What you gonna do, bro? It was basically just ripping the piss out of Hogan, but it was Goldberg this time, wasn't it?
That was it.
Coachman though. Doing the interview, King was laughing. It was weird because normally King would laugh at the pie jokes, but The Rock could also hear what Coachman and King were saying, and it was like making The Rock laugh that King was laughing was pretty good. But he whips out a guitar. He says, "Next week, I'm going to eat pie off the guitar, and I'm going to have another Rock concert." So I mean, this is just proof though that right, even in like 2025, why can't we get guys via satellite? Why can't Big Match John appear via Budapest? Now, when this review's out, we'll be 2 days removed from the Elimination Chamber. Big John will hopefully be back full time for the remainder of his 10 months. But it can be done.
Yeah, I mean, if they want it to be done, it can be done, but it's just laziness at the end of the day.
No, it is. We then cut to Christian after this backstage. He's on the phone to The Rock. I don't think he's on the phone to The Rock. He tells the paparazzi to leave, and then basically The Rock's like, oh, you're my favourite wrestler too. And Christian, really? The Rock's telling Christian he's his favourite wrestler? I don't think so, but then...
I'm willing to bet Christian was on the phone to himself here.
Aye.
I don't think Christian was speaking to The Rock.
No, it was funny though, because when it showed you in the background, I actually thought it was Goldberg in the back. It was just some random fucking guy. But it was Goldust taking on Christian. Ends in about, 40 seconds because of a DQ in there. Christian's like, you know what, I've beat Goldust, low blow or not. It's time to call out Goldberg. And you know what? Talk about Braun Breaker, spear on speed. I think this one's borderline the best of all time.
Yeah, great spear. Christian getting speared out of his boots. Jackhammer, bang. Christian down. Christian done. And I think The Rock's going to need more friends than just Christian to help him beat Goldberg.
Yep, Jackhammer. Obviously not 1, 2, 3.
Keep the phone calls coming.
It wasn't a match at the end of the day. But up next, is it main event time?
No, it's no, because we have a debate with Scott Steiner and Christopher Nowinski.
How could you forget that
How could you forget that? The Iraq War, Nowinski's anti-American.
Yeah, this is the main event for a lot of people.
Steiner is pro-American. Nowinski is like, he doesn't, it's my American right to have my opinion. Freedom of speech, First Amendment. But Scott Steiner's like, you can take that amendment and shove up your ass. America, we're gonna, they started this shit when they drove into those towers, and we're going to end it. So Scott Steiner here believing in the whole 9/11
terrorism.
thing.
They did terrorism.
You know what? See, back in 2003, I can forgive Steiner for that.
Aye.
I think if you're still peddling that in 2025, though, you're either dumb or just in denial. Like,
aye.
Which one is it?
Which one's it going to be?
Scott Steiner with some good old American patriotism there. Then Nowinski gives a 3-minute reference, and before you know it, 3-minute warning, come to the ring. It's a 4-on-1 beatdown. Steiner drops Jamal on his head, but that's not enough to get him out of there. And then Steiner ends up flat on his back.
Yeah, I mean, this is beneath Scott Steiner, but here, it's downhill from here at this point anyway. We then have a segment backstage. Hurricane, Triple H, Ric Flair, Bischoff, basically, what What about if I beat you, then Booker T doesn't get a match, but then if Booker T beats Ric Flair, Bischoff's like, right, fuck it, 2-on-2 match, Booker T and Hurricane. If that team wins, he gets a title shot against Triple H.
Another good segment with the Hurricane here, sticking his nose into Triple H's
What's
business.
up with that, bitch?
Yeah, Triple H didn't really want Hurricane there. Ric Flair told him to, fly off. Hurricane's like, I can fly, I got wings. And we've seen Hurricane fly away, but the match gets made. Hurricane and Booker T teaming up to take on Triple H and Ric Flair. We had the King going to show a video of JR leaving, but Bischoff blocked the video for whatever reason, so we're not getting to see this video. We then got like a vignette, hype promo package for La Resistance. We've got Sylvain Grenier and Rene Dupree. They are coming to, I guess, Monday Night Raw, but I mean, we've also seen a package for them on SmackDown as well. We don't know where they're coming to, but they are coming to the WWE, and they're coming to add a little bit of Francais, a little bit of La France.
You Americans, you invade countries for the oil.
Yeah, now we're going to invade the WWE, and we're going to kick the ass of all your favourite WWE superstars, basically. So that was pretty good. We got a Backlash card rundown, as you do. Backlash beginning to take shape. A few matches have been announced on this Raw, and we also got a few more matches announced on SmackDown
It's
coming
just
up.
the song alone's brilliant.
Yeah, Cold.
Remedy.
Good stuff. Then we get the main event. It was Triple H and Ric Flair taking on the Hurricane with Booker T, and Booker T was kicking ass in this match. Good stuff. We had Shawn Michaels come down. Shawn Michaels with a chair. Shawn Michaels with a distraction. We got sweet chin music in there. We had a spinebuster on the Hurricane, with the Hurricane making the hot tag. Booker T came in super hot and taking down both Ric Flair and Triple H, just unleashing on them, really.
Earl Hebner dolphin dived off the top rope. Well, it wasn't the top, it was the apron, to try and get the chair off Triple H.
Sledgehammer, was it not?
No, I'm pretty sure it was the chair. Sledgehammer chair, he landed face first on the outside, and it was like...
It was a nasty fall for
No,
Earl
it was
Hebner.
like, it was so botchy, and then that's when Michaels hit the sweet chin music. Booker T's got Triple H distracted. He's getting him off at Earl. Earl and Triple H got very underrated feud, by the way. But then, Hurricane pins, Ric Flair, 1, 2, 3. Booker T's getting that match next week.
He is getting the match, but then Chris Jericho comes down and Michaels is getting attacked, Booker T's getting attacked, so Kevin Nash comes to make the save, and we have a little bit of miscommunication here, and Shawn Michaels ends up hitting Booker T. Booker T then takes out Shawn Michaels. You got Nash looking at Booker, Nash looking at Michaels, Michaels looking at Booker, Triple H making his way up the ramp. Booker T wants nothing to do with Shawn Michaels, even though he should be grateful, because without Shawn Michaels, he probably wouldn't be getting his world title shot next week. Booker T leaves up the ramp, and then you have Nash staring down Michaels, and we're beginning to think here, can these guys even trust each other as Monday Night Raw goes off the air? So Booker T earns a shot, decent main event match, builds up the Backlash 6-man tag as well. Good stuff. I thought it was a good episode of Raw. Lots of good things on it, from Feeder Long doing commentary, from the American debate, Christian, very funny, Hurricane, very funny, just loads of good stuff on it. Stacey Keibler showing her ass. What more can you want? Good episode of Raw. I'm going to give an 8 out of 10.
I'm going to get an 8 out of 10. You know what? Nothing bad on it.
Nothing bad.
I mean, I didn't really like the Bischoff stuff, but it wasn't bad.
Nah, it was good. 8 out of 10. I mean, maybe did the show suffer from not having a great match? I mean, possibly. And maybe a bit of star power, having no Austin there, having no JR there. I mean, we did get Goldberg in a funny... I mean, we got Goldberg, I guess, in that funny segment, and a spear. The lack of Rock maybe wasn't great. I know he did appear on the Titantron.
It's not the same.
A phantom phone call with Christian, but... Aye, it was a good episode. I'll give it an 8. Thought it was good. We'll move on to the next one.
Top 5 moments then. The debut of Lucha Underground on Wednesday. Will that get an 8?
Oh,
I'm not so sure.